I think it's good. All right. Hi everyone, hello. I thought I would do a little teaching YouTube video this morning, so got my setup. I am actually getting ready to teach another class for my beautiful friend Jen at her spirit school, which is super great, but I'm like very motivated. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a little teaching topic today for astrology with Courtney. So what are we gonna talk about? Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Courtney. If you're new here, I talk about astrology, spirituality, all the things going on in my world, in my life, in my head, yada yada, all of it. And I just wanted to be able to bring different topics to you guys all here on YouTube that relate to different things in astrology. So of course I have a lot of different courses. My main astrology business is over on Bravely Beautiful brand, where basically I just help people see themselves as their most authentic version of self and step into who it is that they're here to be. So feel free to come over and check that page out if you want. I have lots of astrology courses to dive deeper and ways to work with me there. Today, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about astrology and health, some of the things that come up around health. So I did do a little TikTok video on this, but I thought, hey, let's make it a little bit longer. So if you watched the last video I did that was talking about astrology in the houses, we're going to be referring to that because there are two houses in astrology that actually talk a lot about mental health and like emotional health, and then the other side, which is more on the physical and wellness health of what we do on a day-to-day to take care of ourselves. Now, I am a big component of this because I have a lot of planets in my 6th and my 12th house. And I've also been going through a lot of 12th house transits. So for the last little while, mental health years have been a big part of my life. I also have the sun in my 12th house of Aquarius, which is an air sign. So the brain and the noggin, there's a lot of things there to talk about. So when I got really interested in this and I was like, okay, how do we see mental health in astrology? Like, where does that show up? When we're looking at mental health, we would want to look at the 12th house. When we're looking at our physical health in our body, we look at the 6th house. So the 6th house really rules things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis and how we're taking care of ourselves. Brushing our teeth, our routines that we do every day, what it looks like to have certain routines. Are you a really routine person, or are you like, screw the routine, I don't like that? That can show up in our 12th house. It can also show us, yes, the work that we do, energy that we bring to our work, and the people that we work with. But I'm going to specifically relate this today to the kind of energy that we hold when it comes to things like the routines that we do on a day-to-day basis and how we're taking care of our health. So whatever sign rules that 6th house can show you a lot about this energy. For example, I have Leo ruling the 6th house. I am really about moving my body, loving moving my body. I'm very playful, and Jupiter is there. So I have a lot of energy. It's a fire element, and so there's a lot of energy that needs to be moved in that area of my life. Movement is part of my everyday life. Now, if you're someone who has Taurus in the 6th house, of course, movement is still really good for you day to day, but that might look like slower things, more yin yoga. Maybe meditation is more part of your daily routines and habits, or hiking because it's an earth sign. So it can show up in different ways, but that 6th house really talks about our wellness and what we're doing daily to support our body and our just like day-to-day routines and habits for ourselves. And the opposite is where we really look to for mental health. That is the 12th house. 12th house rules things like our subconscious, everything that's deeply going on within that we're like not always looking at, things we can't always see, right? So the 12th house, mental health, emotional health. 8th house actually is like psychology kind of, so that can come up too, but I'm gonna talk about this one just for now. 12th house is really the mental health based place. So whatever sign rules the 12th house is actually gonna tell you a lot about probably the way that you relate to mental health. It's ruled by an air sign. Maybe you tend to be more of an overthinker, or maybe you do have a lot of anxiety. It's ruled by an earth sign. Maybe this shows up more physically in your body. Inflammation, for example, any of those types of things. It's a fire sign. Maybe you are like very like fiery in your emotional state or your mental health, right? and it can show you ways to kind of support yourself. Again, if there's planets in either one of these houses, also going to give you a lot of information on how you can work with this energy. So when we're looking at mental health and how that shows up in people's life, not every single person is born with like mental health stuff. Of course, some people are. There's trauma, there's so many things. But let's say, for example, we're talking about someone who has been going through a few years of mental health stuff, or like someone comes and says, Courtney, like I've been feeling all these ways, like what is going on? If I'm gonna look to the 12th house and say like, okay, what has been going on in this house? Has there been any transits going on here? And it can tell us a lot. If someone is going through a lot of 12th house transits, meaning if there's a lot of planets moving through that area of their chart, they're probably releasing a lot on an internal mental level. There might be a lot of loss in their life, death, maybe things like jobs leaving them, feeling like there's just a lot of loss, which of course can tell us a lot about mental health. If they have big planets moving through that 12th house, like Saturn, maybe they're feeling restricted and isolated, or maybe they feeling like they're going through a lot of doubt. Now, this is going to happen in everybody's chart. At one point, they're going to have planets moving through the 12th house, but we can see a lot about how that can show up within their relationships to others, allow people to have a little bit more compassion with themselves, and understand that they're going through a cycle and that it will end. So that's why booking an astrology reading or learning to understand astrology deeper can show you, hey, like this transit is going to last this long, and I know that I'm growing. Now, 6th house placements, let's say someone's going through a lot of 6th house transit. This could actually show up in terms of like what's happening with their health. I'm laughing because I have a friend who has her Saturn return has been going through this, and she's had COVID like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 times. I think she broke her foot twice, and also stuff with her work has been changing. Just an example. Someone's born with a lot of 6th house energy and placements. This could be a big focus on their routines, on their work, being of service, their health. So it can show us different things, but the transits are a really good way to look at this. I'm going to give you a very mundane example. When the sun moves through Leo, that's illuminating or highlighting my 6th house. I always have a lot more energy during Leo season in the summer. I feel like I come alive. I feel like I'm ready to work out. I feel like I'm ready to hit workouts because it's that fire energy and the sun is illuminating it. So again, just an example. If you have Pisces in the 6th house and you have all this energy right now, which is like currently moving through Pisces, you're probably moving out a lot of energetic, stale energy out of your physical body that needs to be released. Just saying. You're a Virgo rising. This is probably happening to you as I'm filming this right now. Anyway, that's sort of some ways that you can look at this. So I know that I've talked about like, I'm a big believer in moving your meat suit, health in general. I think it's really important. We are human beings. We cannot escape any of this. I've worked with children for the greater part of my life, and part of being a human and living in Earth School is getting sick, is learning to take care of our bodies, is purging out things from our bodies, is getting viruses. Like, it happens. And some of us experience a lot of mental health, and sometimes some of us don't as much as others, but both of them are very, very, very important. Neither is more than the other. And I think our world is actually getting there, but needs to do a better job at understanding mental health and physical health are one and the same. There's no difference. One you can't see, 12th house, when you can see 6th house on the body. And so when we look in astrology, we can see the impacts that this can come up, that can bring up. And when we look at the transits and what's happening in our chart, we can know that, okay, what are some ways we can help ourselves with this? Which leads me into the next part of this. How do I help myself when I'm going through 6th house transits or there's planets going through my 6th house? Well, you're gonna bring a lot of focus to your physical body. Again, the routines you're doing daily. Do you need to go to get a massage once a month? Do you need to go to the gym 5 days a week or 3 days a week? Do you need to go get a Reiki healing? What do you need to do for your physical body? What are you eating every day? What are those habits that are coming up? What time are you going to bed? Now, that leads into the 12th house, but those routines are what you're doing are really in the 6th house, how you can really motivate yourself and work with that energy to support you. Now, again, it depends on what planets are moving through there, because there can be bigger planets that tend to move through there, like Pluto's or Jupiter or the Saturns, which can make things feel a little bit heavier. So there might be some time of going to like the doctor and needing to tap into Western medicine, which can be very helpful there. So I'm just caveating that this is not medical advice. I'm just saying those are things to look for. But you can really take control and do things on a daily basis to support you. Now let's talk about the 12th house. The 12th house is that unseen piece, right? So how do we help ourselves with something we can't see or not always verbalize and know how to speak about? Now that's what we're learning, right? And there's people like myself and other advocates around the world who wanted to share this information with people and say like, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So there are a million ways to support yourself during this. Energy healing and clearing is really important if you're going through 12th house transits. Counseling, doing breath work, Reiki, really pulling out the energies that are attached to those ailments that we might experience physical, right? They go hand in hand. They're opposites. One, you're experiencing something on a physical level. There's probably something going on deep within in that 12th house, and they need to be connected and dealt with together. So of course, therapy is a great choice. Some people do want to also use drugs to help them. I would never judge anyone for that. I thought if that's something that helps somebody, definitely. I would say that with the 12th house, we want to be mindful of that because there can be addictions there, especially depending on what sign it's in. But talking, energy healing, clearing, going to a retreat space, going to a rehab center, anything that's going to really support on a emotional, spiritual, deeper level, that is the 12th house. Okay. So again, I'm making this because 6 and 12 are opposite and they go hand in hand. So whatever the energy is in your 6th house, it's completely opposite to your 12th. If you have Pisces in the 6th, you're going to have Virgo in the 12th. If you have Virgo in the 6th, you're going to have Pisces in the 12th. So have a think about this. What does this mean for you? What do you feel is coming up when I'm sharing this with you? And if you have any more questions, pop them below because you know I like to answer them. But again, I'm gonna scream it from the rooftop. Mental health and physical health are the same. One is not better than the other. They're interconnected. They're so interconnected. If you're not moving your meat suit daily, if you're not moving your body, something is gonna be off in your energy field. Vice versa, okay? Vice versa. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm getting in all the water because I also can feel myself clearing out some sinusy things. And yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. But I wanna just say, love y'all so much. Thanks for being here. Comment below, let me know your thoughts. And I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to go live your dreams and move your meat suit, for crying out loud. Bye.